I'm literally just waiting for the game to load up, and I will be with you guys. Took a little bit longer than I thought it would. And there we go. Let me go ahead and get the other bit done. I want to do this, don't I? It's been a couple of days since I streamed, so I'm a bit rusty. There we go. Everything's loaded in. There we go. I hope everyone's doing well. Welcome back to another Flight Sim stream. So, we are currently in Detroit with our little 172. That's where we left off the last stream. Now I need to go onto the EFB quickly. And I need to remember to turn the right avionics back on with this thing. So yeah, we're in Detroit at the minute. It's been a while since we flew. I'm going to close that back up. But the plan is we're going to keep heading west. As the title suggests, we want to head west with this plane. This plane's based in the San Francisco area. That's where I want to store it. That's why I want to keep it, so we've got to get it back over that way. Plus, we'll get out of the cold. It's very, very cold up here at the minute. You can see the snow on the ground. This is actually real-world weather that we've got on at the minute. I don't think the wind's that bad, but the temperature certainly is. Let's skip that one. That's a bit very 5-minute crafty. That's not that bad, actually. Nah, I don't like that. Just on a... There we go, that's on a shuffle now. We'll change the music up a bit later. I'm using YouTube now for music anyway. I've got YouTube Premium, so I don't get any adverts. Thumbs up for that. Right, so options-wise, I'm just looking on the list now. Let's actually do this. And, let's swap this over to display capture quick. So you guys can see what I'm looking at. So, options-wise, yeah, you can see that very nicely, okay. Options-wise, we've got a few. So, as I said, we want to head west. So, the compass bearing, we want to be going that way, of course. Or, maybe we can go north a little bit, but ideally we want to be heading that way because I don't want to be using Google Maps because that's showing my location. Need to get a map that doesn't have a location on it. Oh yeah, we've got this one. I've got this on my flight planner. Here we go. So, if I change this in the settings, map settings tab, we go north up. There we go. That'll help. So yeah, we want to be heading sort of from Detroit all the way over towards San Francisco, in the Bay Area here. Our plane is actually located here in Kanook, but San Francisco area, it's the Bay Area. I want to do flights around the Bay. I love the San Francisco area. So we've got a long way to go still. So anywhere that sort of heads west. In fact, we want to head more south because of the curvature of the Earth. So with that in mind, we've got to sort of select our... so put this back on to track up because that's what I prefer. And we've got to head sort of back towards where we want to go. Back towards that way. So if I pull up my... Not that. If I pull out my little browser tab again. So anything that sort of heads that way. So this one is a good one. It's Fulton Co. Just depends if there's anything sort of heading west from there, which there isn't. There is, but it's heading back up north a little bit. I've looked to see if there's anything from there. This is literally how I plan my flights on FSEconomy. I just look at what there is going in the right direction. It is very much as the crow flies this. We've got a rich Italian to Charlotte, Michigan. And that actually would be a very good flight, that, because that's got plenty heading in the right direction. Not a lot that's worth a lot, but again, going to Wisconsin. Okay, then it sort of goes to a dead end. So I mean, you've got to kind of like fly it in a way that every now and then gets us a big airport. Every now and then it gets us to like a big destination to fly into. So you can see, of course, the ones that I've clicked on before, trying to pre-plan this. I think our best bet is going to something like this. Let's go south a little bit into Ohio. Yeah, because there's plenty coming from there. A few there'll be right return flights. So stuff that's like within 100 nautical miles of a big airport, you will always find like flights to go to and from, and that's great if you want to like grind for money. Like that's a quick flight, but we want to keep heading towards San Francisco. But there's this one here. Oh, we can't do that. It's 4 passengers. We haven't got room for that. But we do have a little bit of cargo we can do. That's always good for money. And eventually we can get into a bigger airport where we've got plenty of good flights. So we want to... Which one was it? The KO... So these ones. So we'll do 3 of those. Add those to my flight. And we'll go back onto here. And let's go ahead and get some... we're going to need some fuel for this flight, I think. 76 not we probably could get away with it, but fuel's always cheaper like a big airport. Like anywhere that's like massive, there's always cheap fuel. So we'll go ahead and get some fuel right now. And we're not going... The other trick is... gone here. If we fill up to 100%, we can only take 2 passengers, so we're actually less productive. So I normally fill up to about 75%. In fact, 50 would be the most productive. Because you get down to 25 and you can't go very far. So it's a balancing act. You can stop all the time if you want to take heavy assignments, or you can just take what you need. So we're going to go up to about 75%. So that is 40 gallons. And we want the cheapest to Grand River. Okay, so now our plane's refueled. I need to open up the economy thing. And just give that a second to connect to the sim. And there we go, we can start flight now. And that will load up my plane. And what we'll do quick is we'll swap this back over to game capture. So you don't need to see my browser in that. Right, so now that's done. We need to plan our route. So we were going into browser tab again. KOWX. And we're in Detroit. Make sure that's at auto, and we'll have to set this to VFR in a minute. Put them co, and I always check to make sure that it is somewhat correct when I go on to the thing to make sure that the yep, that's fine. So that is all ready to go, that flight. So you can see we're sort of heading, it's a bit hard to tell, but we're heading sort of the right direction now with this. And we'll find route. So it's not actually giving us a very good VFR route, that. It's just taken straight there. Is this a... No, it's not. And we'll probably use this for its own flight navigation, because this is quite a good system to use. Now, what's our outside temperature? We shouldn't have to worry about icing too much today. I hope. The last flight did it was very icy. Right, let's make sure our fuel's on. Fuel's on. Master on. Avionics on. Nav lights on. Beacon on. Give it a few primer pulls. Okay, carb heat on that. Cabin air we want to leave on. That's a mistake I think I keep making. Right, if we want full mixture. No arrival air, we'll go back. We'll sort that out in a minute. We can sort that out whilst we start the plane up. That magneto's on and she starts right up. Absolutely beautiful, that. And that is exactly why I like Jamie Aviation. That didn't take long at all to get the plane started. I didn't have to have a checklist right next to me to be able to figure it out. I just know exactly what I'm doing. Okay, now that's doing that. Let's go ahead and get our flight plan programmed into here. Brilliant. And then if we've gone to default nav, gone to... No, not that. That up, there we go, that's loaded up nicely. So, we'll choose a runway to depart from. I'm probably going to go for this runway here. I know if I'd done it through the flight planner properly, I probably could have gotten a nicer runway and actually gotten like a decent flight route, but I think it's just like, gotta be careful, you know? So, can't just, you know, can't just take off and be like, yeah, I'm gonna take off from any runway or taxiway. No, you gotta pre-plan it a little bit, but at the same time, I'm doing VFR flight rules. I'm not really doing anything too intensive, so it shouldn't matter too much. We'll probably go from this one here, just because we'll go from this one. Actually, no, yeah, we'll do this runway. That's going to fly us into our flight plan. Okay. The flight is ready to go. Get the controller ready. Turn that off. I don't know why that like just default comes up. Get a little bit of throttle. Come on, plane. She doesn't like to always go when I want her to go. Oh, there's a Spirit Air there. Some of the stock liveries do work on planes, but not all of them, apparently. Just going to turn the game volume down a little bit. I turned it up when I was playing 5M the other day. There we go. Yeah, we're heading towards the runway that I want to be taken off from, and then we want to take another right turn, I think. Oh, that's nice, 757. So, 757 is actually probably one of my favourite all-time airliners. It's not quite the last airliner I flew on, but actually it is. It is the last airliner I flew on. That's funny. They're sort of mostly out of service now. They're mostly like done by the cheaper airlines in just rougher parts of the world, or for cargo or whatever. But I think it's still a good plane, you know. I find 737s a bit boring, personally. And 777s are cool, but eh. But, you know, if you know me, you know, okay, Luke likes general aviation. That is the truth. I love my general aviation. That is exactly, you know, where I have the most fun flying. That's why you don't find me doing VATs in, you know, most of these little, you know, most of these things, because I just enjoy the peace and quiet of the backcountry flying and the scenery that you can take in. Right. Before we take off, I just want to make sure we've got some temp. Oh yeah, we've got plenty of temp in that carb. That's what I want to see. I want to see that carb temp pegged, because that means that we've got plenty. That means we're going to be getting plenty of temperature in that engine, which plenty of temperature we can pull into the cabin, and that's what we want. We want as much of that in the cabin as we can to stop the icing. Doesn't mean the airframe's not going to get iced up though. That's the annoying bit. Okay, where do I need to go from here? I'm guessing this way. Oh, yeah, there was a caravan there. I'm not the only Cessna here. Probably a citation as well somewhere. Are planes actively running? There are planes actively landed on the runway I want to be on. Great. That makes it harder. Ah, we'll be fine. I'll probably turn the beacon light off now. Don't need that, don't need that. It's a bit I don't like. I'm trying to figure out where to taxi. Some of these taxiways don't have any textures. That's what happens when you use default scenery. There we go. Right, we don't need any flaps. We're taking off from a relatively long runway. We don't need anything special to take off from here. That's what I like about these sorts of runways. There is literally no wind. That sock is like just fully flaccid at the minute. Oh, I'm not turning. Ah. Come on, plane, get back on centre line. Okay. Let's hit max brakes, max power, and we can go. We don't need too much speed to take off on these because they're lovely stall planes. But we're going to go for about 80 miles per hour. That does us. And yes, this gauge is in miles per hour, not knots. That's how we take off and avoid the traffic on the runway. And we'll climb up to about 3,000 before we fully set the GPS on. A nice climb profile at the minute. We're not losing too much airspeed. We're not too badly. Once we're away from the field is when we'll turn. We don't want to be turning it on top of another runway. Okay, now we can start our turn. There we go. Right. Let's get our autopilot master on. Vertical speed. So at about 300, and we want to get our nav hold on. There we go. And let the plane do everything else. Now I can be hands off. About 400. We'll probably climb to about 5,000 feet today for this first flight. What's our EGT looking like? No, I don't want that. I want to look at this. So I think that's colder, that's warmer. I think. Judging by the thingy symbol. That's all the way down there. Oil temperature's right at the middle. So we should be okay for icing this time. Because I've got the engine nice and hot before we took off. I did the right thing this time. Yeah, just like a car, you probably shouldn't really sit there and leave it to get too hot. Bum, 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 bum. What's the traffic give me? Yeah. Should have a traffic. I do. That's something that's going to be coming up on us. Don't see anything. So now we're in the air and we're somewhat stable. I'll ask everyone this: how is everyone's Valentine's going? I hope that it's good and that you've got. If you've not got a partner, I hope you find one. I'm the guy that always wishes everyone well. I'm trying to put that in the best way possible because I think some people don't like Valentine's. Personally, I was one of those people who didn't like Valentine's for years because I was always single. Now now this is my second Valentine's where I'm not single, and I'm actually quite happy about it. Quite happy, you know. I've got a beautiful girlfriend who I love, who may appear on stream from time to time, depending on when she's here when I'm streaming. At the minute, I'm not trying not to stream. The other thing is, if she is here when I'm streaming, I might turn the face cam off just for her privacy. Even though you might not be able to see her face very well in the camera, it just, with her privacy, you know, gotta be fair. What are we at? 4,000. We want to go to 5,000. Yeah, I'm not gonna make my girlfriend be on a stream camera if she don't want to. Okie dokie. So, we can start planning out the next flight whilst we're in the air, can't we? We go ahead and turn that back on. Okay. Covering it with my webcam, aren't I? I'll go about there. Yeah, you should be able to see it now. What's going on? Oh, I think we've hit a little bit of a crosswind. So we'll give it a little bit more time before we can check it on to altitude hold. So we are flying into Putnam Cove in Ottawa, Iowa. And as I said before, we want to be heading sort of west-ish. So we've got one option really, because we can't take that, and that's into Austin Lake, Michigan. So we'll add that to our assignments. That takes probably up to about 2 hours worth of flying, and we want to fly for a little bit longer than that. So we've got Elkhart Municipal, or we've got Plymouth, Indiana. Either way takes in sort of the right direction. We do have a limit on how much we can take. So I'd probably take this one because it's a little bit further, but the price we get for it, the cost, you know, the reward we get from it's a little bit better. And from there, you know, we can go to Grissom, Indiana, or we can go into Tune in Nashville. We'll probably take these. So that'd be a good place to end, I think. That'd be a brilliant place to end, because then we've got plenty of assignments we can fly and start from the next stream. Things like that. Yeah, there's plenty we can fly from Indiana. I think that is the way to go. We're just hit 5,000. Let's get the altitude, hold on. And let's tune our cruise power. There we go. Cruise power on a 172 is around like 80. It's got a constant speed prop on it, so we can't actually change the prop angle. Which is both good and bad. That's why they like to use the 172 as a very good starter plane, because a lot of them don't have the propeller to worry about. It's just constant speed, so they just teach you to worry about the throttle and the mixture. Mixture I generally leave because I'm not really knowing what I'm doing with that. Plus, you can just leave it on auto mixture. That's what I do personally. Nice to see we're not icing on the actual airframe for once. Not seeing any, yeah, I'm not seeing any actual ice either. So this, hopefully, it's going to be a bit of a safer flight. No ice. We'll see. We do have a bit of wind on us, that's why it's sort of like rocking a lot. But that's why we leave it on autopilot, let the avionics do the work for me. This should tell me what my ETE is if I go back. So we're about 40 minutes away from the first airport. Ground speed's about 90 knots. Beautiful flight for a beautiful day. Check some things whilst we are in the air. Oh, it's minimized. Oh, I'm zoomed in. Why am I zoomed in like that? I'm scrolling on a browser tab, that's why. On Discord. Yeah, it'd help if I didn't do that. Let's move my Discord up here, just so you can't see it anyway, but I don't want to accidentally alt-tab onto that either. Let's minimize that for now. So, I think that's Lake... So that is Lake Erie there, so of course we flew a different way in. I think we flew like over that way to get into Detroit. Of course we're flying back past it again. We've done a lot of flying around Lake Erie recently. We're sort of getting away from the lakes now though. Heading inland. I'm trying to think what the terrain's going to be like when we get towards Colorado, because eventually we're going to have to fly over some mountains unless we fly over the north. Trying to think what the best way to get into California is going to be. I reckon fly north and fly in, because eventually we're going to have to fly quite high, and these planes do struggle once you get over like 10,000 feet. Because again, it's a small plane, it's not really designed to go up that high, it's just designed to do like low-level general aviation stuff. You right, Gregory? Ah. Can we see the airport yet? Of course we fucking can't. It's over 50 nautical miles away. It's way over that way. And we're just over fields. What if I turn on the visual things? Is there anything that we can look at? It's Erie. Namesake of Lake Erie, I guess. Toledo. What's over there? Oh, does that mean we're over Toledo? That's the Parks and Recreation place. We go into this view. Look, that's where... It's not quite, actually, is it? I'd say that's Pawnee, isn't it? Not Toledo. But we are heading in the right direction. It's all very gritty. It's just American cities for you. Tell you what though, the weather in the sim, and well, I guess in this part of the US at the minute, is very nice. Like, there's not a lot of clouds, it's all very small and light and scattered. Very blue, the sky's very clear and blue, not a lot of wind. Honestly, beautiful flying conditions. The only problem with it is it's cold. But I guess that's not really an issue, is it? Like on my tablet as well, it should tell me if there's any traffic around us. Not a lot at all. Yeah, so I don't think we're going to fly. I think that one's Lake Michigan. I think. Don't hold me accountable for this, because I don't know my Great Lakes. I know this one's Lake Erie, because that's the one we've been flying around. I would actually like to go to the US and like explore the Great Lakes a little bit. Like that's one of those things I've always wanted to do. I've got a massive like bucket list of things I want to do in the USA. So very top is go to San Francisco and just see the Golden Gate. Like that's a bucket list thing of mine. I wouldn't call myself an architecture nerd, but there's things that I do like in terms of like the world of architecture or landmarks, and Golden Gate Bridge is just like way at the top of the list. I've seen the Forth River Bridge, the rail bridge. That is beautiful. Like it's stunning in person. And I've been over the new motorway one. And that again, consider it's a modern piece of architecture, a modern bridge, that's beautiful. I think next on that list is I have to go and see the Golden Gate. I live near a big suspension bridge myself. It's ugly compared to the Golden Gate. I think that's a fair point. And then I think I want to go to Florida and see a Cletus McFarland event. I want to go to. Okay, if I'm out near the Golden Gate, I guess whilst I'm over that way, I want to go to Laguna Seca. That's a track I've always wanted to drive on, always wanted to give a go. Just because of the corkscrew. But it's also just an iconic track. Vegas isn't on the bucket list because I don't like Vegas. I wouldn't mind maybe visiting LA, but I don't know. I've heard LA's can be a bit rough, can be a bit stinky. That it's not really like a bold item on that list. Would like to see the Grand Canyon. Would like to see some of Route 68. Not Route 68. Route 66. Just a long list of stuff. Still got plenty I want to see in the UK as well. I might be a Brit, but I haven't seen everything in the UK. It's impossible. There's so much to do here. They should put me in charge of tourism. I'd say Keir Starmer, if you're listening, put me on the tourism board, but probably wouldn't last very long. Let's be honest. And that is as political as a stream will get. I'm just going to say that now. I do not like my streams getting political. Oh, the plane's getting a bit. Are we losing altitude? No, not really. It's just sort of swaying around a lot. That's what happens when you're... Again, small little plane, it's affected by a lot of wind. It's not quite a bush plane, but it is still small. Doing some stuff in the background whilst we're flying because it's time for me to get some stuff done. What I'm looking for is that. Holy fuck, it's still getting bad. I think I'm gonna need to try and get more airspeed. This thing is really struggling now. I'm gonna pitch us back up a little bit as well. Try and gain a little bit more altitude if I can. A minute we're sort of like that all the time, and it's sort of like, I think we're in a little bit of turbulence. I see that is what it is at the end of the day. Found that when you're climbing a little bit, you tend to get a little bit more stable because you're getting a bit more. You end up with a bit more wind going over the wings. See, that's already stable. It's got us nice and stable. Now I can sort of trim it back out. Well, let this trim it back out. Oh my god. Oh, looks like it's getting less snowy. Look. I see not so much white. I'm hoping we're going to have a non-icy landing for once. Look, snow's pretty, but I kind of get bored of snow in real life. I don't like it. Mainly because of one event when I was driving to work. I decided I had to get to work, right? I owned a Mini Cooper at the time. Well, it wasn't Mini Cooper, it was Mini 1, but people in the US don't get the Mini 1, so I say Mini Cooper because everyone knows what I mean when I say that. So I had my little Mini and I was driving, literally driving up the hills and stuff in the snow. I couldn't do more than 30. It was scary AF, and it kind of made me think, yeah, snow, I just hate snow. It just disrupts everything. If I'm not working and I'm doing other stuff, then yeah, maybe I like it a little bit, but when I'm working, and I do work a lot these days, yeah, I don't like it. Oh. That's kind of funny. Every time I look over it, it's just Gregory. Gregory. I think I can turn him off. Let's see. It's not that. It'd be in the main menu, wouldn't it? Cancel. Oh no, that's not that. Settings. That's what I want. There we are. Flight model. Advanced options? I don't know where this is. It's not in there because that's graphics. Oh, listen mode. Let's get that set right. Camera? No. Flight model? No, it's not in there. Flight interface? No. I don't know where this is. I think I might have to go into the main menu to do this. Yeah, I have to do that later. I think it's actually a customizer thing that I've got to do. That sounds better now. I'm in headphone mode. I'm not gonna lie. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, come on. I want to get to the not so snowy bit. we've got to do more flying over that area. My controller's disconnected. Okay, it is working. I was like, is my battery dead? Because I do have spare batteries now. I changed from, so I can't be asked to reach down to get that. So I changed from like these controller batteries that have like a dock that you put the controllers on, because in theory it was a great idea, and it was like, okay, yeah, I can always have a battery charged because I just put the battery on it. But the batteries don't charge when you put them on there without a controller. They need the controller to charge. They need the weight of it to push down onto the little pogo pin things. And then I was finding that the batteries just didn't have great capacity, so I was like, it's annoying. Unless I've got a spare controller, which I don't have because I don't have an Xbox anymore. Well, I had an Xbox, I had a spare controller, so it worked. I always had a spare. But now I don't have an Xbox, so it's like, okay, well, I don't have a way to charge my battery for my nice main controller. So I was in B&M, and I was like, oh, I saw the Venom ones, USB-C rechargeable, and I was like, oh, Venom make some decent stuff. Like for like controller batteries, they're brilliant. So I got these. I know the official ones exist, but I don't like the official ones. The reason I don't like the official ones is because why pay for the official ones that still have a USB-C port on the actual battery instead of using the USB-C port on the controller when not using the actual internal electronics of the controller, when you can just buy something that's slightly cheaper from something like Venom that actually has a charger. Yeah, it's still got USB-C port on it, but it's cheaper. So it's actually, I actually don't care on these. Little rant, I guess. Little rant. Alright. Come on. Go. Almost there. Nope. 20 more nautical miles. And then we still got 2 more flights to do. That reminds me. Not that. I want to be looking at the tablet. Here we are. See what direction the actual runway is. Okay, so it's going to be... runway's going to be in front of us like that when we see it. Once we're about 15 nautical miles, we'll start a very quick descent down to probably 2,500. Should do us very nicely. Our plane's still doing this. I don't like that. Actually, let's start a slow descent whilst we're here. Go for about 300 feet per minute. That should do us nicely, and we can throttle back a little bit. Put it back a little bit. We want to try and keep it in the green if I can. Lower RPM is good, but it isn't bad. It's just try and keep it in the green. That's in the power band of the engine. This is a beautiful plane, though. I absolutely love the bare metal and red livery. I need to figure out how to make some custom liveries, though. That is like a big thing I'd love to learn how to do. I could do it for 5M, so I probably could do it for this. It's a similar sort of process. 'Oh, I don't like this either. Why is it always like the 5-minute craft songs? I hate them. That's what I hate about like stream music is pay to win. That is a controversial topic, I could say. Right. What altitude are we at? Just below 5,000 at the minute. We've got 15 nautical miles to go. We'll level out at about 3,000, maybe 2,000. Be around that area. I'm not going precise in this plane because it's not really got the precise equipment on board. $14. See, 12 nautical miles. We should be able to see it just in front of us now. I'm going to do that. So it's over here. The only reason I do that is because you can't always see stuff in this sim. Over there, okay. So we've got to figure out an approach in a minute. I think a good idea is to fly over it. That's what they teach you anyway. So fly over the top, then do a loop around to come in and land. You can't really see my hand gesture when I do that, can you? I think, so there is one thing I don't like about this webcam. So this webcam doesn't have as a wide angle as my old one did. That is something I've noticed. We're at 4,000 now, come on. So unfortunately, we're not quite out of the snow yet. We're very close, but we're not quite there. You can see it. The annoying thing. What's the temperature outside? About 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 10. About 3 degrees outside in sim. Actually colder than it is here. Wow. I need to see something very quickly. Let's level this thing out again. Alright. What we're looking for is a runway now. I think that's it there, literally right in front of us. Yeah, it is. Let's, okay, so I'm going to turn off the autopilot now, and we'll fly this manually over, because I could do with descending a little bit more, and I could do with adjusting my power. So what we're going to do is we're going to scrub off a little bit of speed so I can get my flaps down. Want to descend, oh, we don't want to go that much. We'll keep the descent rate about 500 feet per minute. If I can. And once that speed sort of settles down a little bit, let's pull the throttle right back. Apply some flaps and we can just start to step back on it a little bit. Get ourselves nice and floaty. We'll keep descending. Probably level up a little bit in a minute. Let's change this music. I don't like this music for landing. I've always said that if anyone ever has any good recommendations for stream music, just shoot it in the chat. As long as it's copyright free, I will play it. And as long as it's not like meme and offensive music. So there are some limitations. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm not into gangster rap, so it probably won't be played. Right, try and level out a little bit. I want to keep an eye on the runway. Oh, yeah, it's a little bit. Change that music again. Might try and find a different playlist once we've landed. Definitely find another playlist when we landed. So there. I need to start making a spread list with all the music that is usable. I think that's a good idea. Getting a little bit of altitude. Someone's pinged me. Right. Here we go. So we're coming in nicely at the minute. This doesn't look like it's a very high quality field. It looks like it's probably going to be quite a rough one to land at. Annoyingly, if we were like a mile over that way, it'd probably be a little bit better in a minute with the snow and ice, but it is what it is. We're actually coming in a little bit high, so I can level out a little bit. Although, again, the plane's very floaty, so I do generally float a little bit on landing. It's going to be one of those runways where I actually probably wanted to come in the other way because it's not got massive gates and taxiways like other ones. So I'm going to have to turn around at the end of the runway, come all the way back down, and then taxi off. Okay, now we can put a little bit of power. As everything comes into render distance. Okay, we're very floaty at the minute. Start to level this thing out a little bit. There we go. Nice. Again, another nice floaty landing. Did sort of like skip a little bit as we hit the runway. Again, that's normal when you're really floaty. I keep using that word, but it's true. What we'll do is we'll turn on the runway. There's no need to use the turning point. We're not in a very big plane. Go. We'll go and get ourselves taxied over to a nice little spot to stop. So I need some pedals because I could be more progressive on the brakes then. Oh, I do love the sound of a horizontally opposed engine in the morning. That Volvo, that is a Volvo. Give it a little bit more power. A little bit more. Okay, it's not a Volvo, but it's got a Volvo freaking... I thought it was a Volvo just based on the grille. Let me move it there. There you go. Looks like a Volvo. Slightly more modern. That's a weird one, that. Where is it? There it is. There we go. Flight ended. And now, if I switch me thingy back over to you, we can open that again. Okay, so... Is it? Okay, yeah, it's fine. I was like, what's it doing? We used 25% fuel for that flight. And we've got another 98 to fly to the next field. Now, the question is, do they have fuel there? They do. It's actually pretty... Yeah, it's not the most cheap. It's not the cheapest, but it's not bad. So, it's 98 nautical miles. Yeah, we'll get that going. So 09 Charlie is where we're going next. That's doing a bit of weirdness. Right, flight plan. Remove. Origin. Okay. OWX. And that is 09 Charlie. Austin Lake should be. It is, okay. Back. No, we want that. We don't want that. There we go. Okay, so that's that bit done. We'll just chuck this into this tablet as well. Just to see what the flight's going to look like. So we're going to be at runway 2. Okay, so this one's going to be a grass strip. That's always fun to know. That's going to be a nice landing for me. Probably not. But that is what it is. Okay. Now that's done, let's go ahead and try and get some music, because I don't like that playlist that was going. I just want a nice long playlist as well, if I can. Try and get some synthwave, maybe. Here we go. That's better. I like that. Okay, that's good. And I'm actually going to make a copy of this playlist. I'll do this. Does it take me back onto it? It does. Brilliant. I'm just going to do a quick spreadsheet for this so I can keep track of it. It's synthwave Twitch music. There we go. That's that's a bit better. That music's so much better. Okie dokie, right, so let's figure out what we're doing next. So we've already planned out our route. I'm just going to quickly grab... am I going to... No, I'm not that hungry right now. I was about to say I'm going to grab something to eat, but I'm not actually that hungry. What have I got for food tonight? I'll probably have something simple. Right. Why is it... Okay. Let's get this thing started and get the next flight going then, shall we? Shame we already stopped the plane, but we'll get the thing going again. Shouldn't need to prime it. We've already been primed, but... We'll leave the carb heat on for now because we're still sort of quite in an icy area. Right. We're heading that way, so we'll take off the way we sort of landed, the direction we landed. Probably don't need the whole runway, but we'll use what we can. Well, those are 152s. I don't think they're Skyhawks. I mean, this is an early Skyhawk. It doesn't even have a rear window. But still a nice plane. So I'm not really loading up with any more fuel. We're going to stay with what we've got fuel-wise because it should have plenty to make this flight. I say should have plenty. If we run out of fuel, we run out of fuel, and it's funny, isn't it? It adds content. See, I would say I'll taxi in the centre line of the runway, but because we are going to be turning around and it's not a very big airport, I'd actually rather taxi to the end on one side than sort of do a loop like that to get us in onto the centre line for takeoff. God, I really hope it's sunny in California. Not that we'll get there in today's stream. It'll be a while streaming the flights to get there. Stop the plane. So this is a turning box over here to turn around in nicely, but I personally prefer to just do this in a smaller plane. Brakes a little bit to make the turn angle nice and sharp. Okay. And now we just mash the gas and hope for the best. And there we go, we're in the air. And because we're flying out a smaller field, I can turn this on sooner. Nav hold on. BS on to 500. There we go. Nice and simple takeoff. I like that a lot more than a. I like that a lot more than the big airport, because from a smaller airport you can just get straight back in the air quicker. Have a quicker turnaround. A lot quicker turnaround. Now this next field is a grass field, so we're going to have to be very, very cautious for landing. We might not even be able to see where we're going. And we're actually flying somewhat north of this one. So we might actually stay in the snow belt. Although this line is sort of running parallel, so we might have a snowy landing, we might not. I kind of hope not, because I don't like don't like landing on a grass field in snow. It's so nerve-wracking. Start backing off the throttle just a little bit. We've got plenty of airspeed now. See how we do with that. We might have to push it a little bit more for our climb power. No, our climb power. As I said, our next airport is grass, according to the sim. What does this say? It should tell me, yeah, it's grass runway. It's actually 3,500 feet long. That's not bad. Got plenty of distance on the runway. After that, Plymouth Municipal is asphalt. That's quite nice. And of course, I expect that Grissom. Yeah, that's asphalt. That's an air reserve base. So it's not that bad, right? Are we losing power? No. Need a bit more climb power. A little bit more. Might have to push it a little bit to get up to altitude when we're getting up to altitude. Once more, we'll go to about 5,000 feet. We don't need loads and loads of altitude for this. In fact, we might even level out at 3,000 this time, because we really do not need that much altitude. General aviation. PC's running nice today, though. So, not Stream Elements. Signal RGB has just done an update, and they've started adding custom LCD display support. So instead of just putting a GIF on it or something like I've been doing for a while, I can now have actual, better temperature readout. So before it was just one readout, so I just put CPU temp on it and a Fallout GIF, because it's like, okay, that works, that looks good. Let's level this out already. No, and it looked somewhat cool. It worked with the theme I was running at the time. But again, it only had the temperature readout for my CPU, which, yeah, that's all good. But I also want to keep an eye on what my GPU's doing temp-wise. So now I can have up to 3 readouts if I want to. So it's got my CPU and my GPU temps. I can actually just glance over to my PC over here now and look at. That's very nice. There we go. Yeah, this music player is so much better than that crappy like 5 minutes craft stuff. It's like a bit more cinematic. I like it. There's just something about synthwave, I think. Don't know what it is. Right, I'm just gonna turn the camera off. I'm gonna run and get my just grab a hoodie quick. I'm getting a little bit chilly. I'll be 2 seconds. Hopefully the plane doesn't crash whilst I'm gone. Should be fine. There we go, I'm back. I would sit and stay in my Syndicate original, but yeah, it's a bit too cold in a minute for that. As I said, I'm going to start digging into a bar of chocolate that's been in the fridge. Yes, I keep chocolate in the fridge. It melts otherwise. Jesus, 5M stuff's gonna be nice tonight. I wish I could stream it, but I can't. Maybe soon TM, but that's just something that's going on at the minute. Doesn't matter too much for me. We are still nicely flying. 77 nautical miles to go, and what's our fuel quantity? I think we've got fuel quantity somewhere. Oh yeah, it's up at my head. Just over half tank. We're drawing from both tanks, so it doesn't matter as much. Oh, it's there. Blood box isn't open on display. That is a bit of a I don't like that. The switch is hidden there like that. It's a bit of a shortcoming, that. Can't reach that by hand. But actually, like, moving your view around there. That's like a nice airport. Got my mouth full of chocolate. Get pinged in here. Oh, it's the only problem with flight sim, right? Like, in between stuff, there's not a lot to do, and if not a lot of people chatting, then it gets a bit boring. But it's okay. We'll keep going. I might end it after this flight, though. Depends on. Let me see. I wanted this. Yeah, so I'm gonna end it after this flight, guys. I'm gonna cancel those so I'm not holding assignments from people. So we'll get to the grass field and we'll end the stream there. What's we in? Yeah, let's get this cash banked. It's that way then we get some money into the bank to pay off our loan. We did take out a loan to buy this plane from the bank. It is the easiest way to be able to afford it sometimes. We are really getting chucked around right now, though. $68 miles to go. Okay, plane is really getting blown around on course at the minute. Uber Eats is trying to advertise itself to me. Not that I need any food right now. Oh, what is Mackey's doing at the minute? I'm having a look at the Mackey's menu because I am a little bit lazy today. It's Valentine's Day. I get I've got a reason to be lazy, right? Can't spend Valentine's Day with my girlfriend, so am I allowed to have a takeaway? I think I am. Well, I would try and look at the... Gotta add my address to this thing. I don't like the McDonald's app sometimes. It is a pain in the ass to be able to like get things going on here. Right, what's new? This is what I want to see. Yeah, there's nothing really I fancy on the menu at the minute. Got chili. They got the Philly stack at the minute, which is quite nice, but I really don't fancy it. I'm not having pizza because I had pizza the other day. Even though I've got mini pizzas that I could put in the air fryer. Might have some hot dogs. I think that's a plan. Hot dogs. How are we? Okay, so 261 nautical miles to go, and I've got to plan out shit for the landing. Yes, I swore. I do swear. We are really dodging around at the minute, aren't we? Jesus. It's really like swaying. I'm trying to read over some stuff and I can see planes swaying around down there. Seems a little bit better again now. I've got a ping somewhere. I need to have a look at this. Oh, we're getting shooken around again. I'm really hoping we're not going to have this bad sort of like wind when we're landing. Should be landing near a lake as well, by the way. That's something I found on the, if we look on the tablet where we're going to. So it's literally at the end of like a cul-de-sac is the runway. It's pretty cool. We're literally going to land, come in this way, land, and then we'll probably just stop, in all fairness. My guess is, like, this community probably is built around the idea that people with planes just pull their plane up onto their driveway or something. A couple of barns there, maybe hangars. There's actually a marine landing strip there. About 53 miles out. Okie dokie, let's get that back up. I think I have to figure out how to... So I figure out how to stop Medal from recording my game. So I don't want it recording Flight Sim. There we go, figured it out. Figured that out. So I now know. So you can actually turn it off per game, which is cool. So the reason I got medal back is because, like, when I'm not, you know, with 5M, it's hard to. I don't want to record with OBS because it's very easy to accidentally press the live button and then potentially go live. It's very easy to accidentally, or to have my, it could potentially end up with my overlays up and it miss something. So with Medal, it's separate from OBS, and it means it doesn't get my webcam on the overlay. It's just separate, so I can just clip with Medal, and jobs are good. So I'm gonna keep it like that for now. But like for other games, I don't need it to record Farming Sim if I'm playing that. Don't need it to record an ATS. I don't need it to record Flight Sim. I know I only really need it for 5M. Like that's the only thing I play where I need it. So I'm just trying to set it up a little bit better for that. Fields of Michigan. I think we're over Michigan in a minute. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, come on plane. Not got far to go. We're actually gaining altitude at the minute. So we turned off the autopilot at about 3,000, and we've gone up to 3,500. We've gained 300 feet of altitude. So I'm actually going to pitch us down a little bit, just slowly. We don't need like a massive amount of altitude to be gained. Hoping maybe using the VS, the vertical speed, setting on the autopilot, maybe we can level it out a little bit easier. Maybe it's not going to like just be chucked around. Or yeah, it's just being chucked around still. Every now and then we get a massive gust of wind and it just picks us up. Like we actually gained altitude then because it's like that powerful. Try 200. Might actually have to force it down in a minute. That's better. Level her out again a little bit. just doing a survey at the minute for FSEconomy. I just noticed they put one out. It's about the client stuff. Yeah, we're really getting shaken around right now, aren't we? Well, so I'm trying to fill out this survey for FSEconomy. There we go, I've done that. So all that was a survey for FSEconomy. If you guys are actually into FSEconomy and you're in their Discord, I recommend you go and fill that survey out, because they seems like they really want to improve their well, they want to improve their client and make it a little bit better. I've actually suggested to them that they look into adding some airline support. I think the best way to grow FSEconomy at the minute as a platform for flight simming is add more airliner stuff. So at the minute, to do airliners, you have to do all-in flights, and you have to search for them. Ultimately, the planes are owned by the bank, so no one actually owns the airliners. So, I mean, a great way to improve that, to attract more people into FSEconomy, would be make it so maybe you can't own an airliner as an individual, but if you set up a flight group, then the group can own the airplane. You know, group owning the airplane would be great. So why not? I know, and then you can do the big airliner flights. Just set up the assignments, configure to airliners only. So when maybe you need a certain type of plane to be able to fly certain types of assignment. I personally think it'd be a great way to expand how the sim works. You might not be able to do real world flights, but they could even set it up so, you know, a couple of them say, oh, Speedbird passes, or the actual flight number, you know, so you can see that, okay, it's actually for an actual real world airliner route, and then you can link it up if you want to and do it realistic, or you can do it as your own airliner. You know, so little things like that would attract more people into FSEconomy, I think. Because I love FSEconomy. I think it's a great way to do things. You know, and you can set it up like with group flying. You can set it up so when you do group assignments, it pays the pilot a salary, so they can then go and do their own stuff in between doing airliner flights, or they could save up to start their own airliner, that sort of thing. You know. But yeah, as part of it, there's a grand prize of 50,000 virtual income, and along with 5 prizes of 10,000. So it's worth entering to try and get a little bit of cash potentially. Okie dokie, let's close that up now. We're about 30 miles away. We're fucking hell, we're climbing still. Try and reduce my altitude a little bit because we keep gaining altitude. I don't want to be going up too high with when we're going to get ready to land in the next probably 20 minutes. We are getting pretty low again. We are at, look at that, we're at 3,000. That's where I want to be. Chuck that back on. Just a little bit annoying because it's like that wind just really is chucking us up at the minute. The moment we start like descending back down to where we want to be, about 3,000, it just takes us straight back up again. And I know I could trim the aircraft out, but with this on altitude hold, it should be trimming for me. I'm not sure why the autopilot's not doing its job. It's okay, we're not far off of landing now. Only got 25 more miles to go. And what we'll do is, whilst is that blowing us up again? It is. A little bit annoying. I was going to see if I could find anyone to hand over the stream to. Nah, there's not really anyone to raid at the minute. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll we'll just end the stream when we land. I'm not going to raid anyone. Unfortunately, there is no one to raid that I can see either in my follow list or that's doing general aviation stuff. I don't want to go and raid someone who's doing like a big, well, yeah, I don't want to go raid someone who's doing like a big airliner flight because it's not on brand for what I'm doing. I think tomorrow we will go live with some farming sim or something. I'll do something a little bit different. We've done a lot of flight sim recently. Well, I say as I haven't streamed all week. But yeah, we'll do some. We'll do a little bit of farming sim tomorrow, and then Monday we'll figure out what we do when it gets to Monday. Monday will probably just be another farming sim stream, I'll be honest, and then I will be working the next few days, but I'm going to try and get myself into a good schedule for streaming, guys, because I'll be honest, I'm very hit and miss when it comes to streaming. At the end of the month, I will be updating my ATS DLCs. I will get in the latest ones. It's about 60 quid's worth that I've got to get, so I'm just holding off until payday to be able to get those. And then we'll be getting back into trucks and some truck sim. Probably start a new career save for that, and I'll probably go through every single mod that I've got installed and just sort of like make sure they're up to date and more accurate, because I'm not going to be doing any map mods. I'm just going to do like stock game map at this point. I mean, there's plenty to drive. ATS is generally better detail than ETS, I think, personally. Comes from it being a newer game. But that'll be coming next month, I'd say, March. That'll be like the March sort of schedule. Not that I have a streaming schedule. Let's see, we're about 20 miles away now. It's a bit cautious about what this strip's going to be like to land on. We've been a grass field. I'm not sure how much runway we're actually going to have. It actually looks like it gets thinner towards the end, and there is a forest there. So really, coming in, we really want to come in this way, because that's going to be the best way to glide in, over this neighbourhood, and then down. And same for takeoff. Takeoff, we really want to taxi to the end and then take off in this direction when we come back to flight sim next week, because I can tell you now, that's not going to be a fun takeoff going that way. Actually, taking off that way might be alright, because we'll probably be able to get up over those trees before we really need to. This plane is pretty floaty once it's in the air. It's more the landing that I'm worried about. There is a bigger airport there if we need it. We're literally just within the flight path of that airport there as well. Find that funny. Right, we're 19 nautical miles out. Let's go ahead and descend properly now. No, not. It's about 500. And we'll probably end up throttling back a little bit now. We don't need much. There we go. Don't need much at all to get where we're going. I'm not sure what the runway is going to be like when we get there, because it's quite... The snow isn't great, but it's not bad either. It's not as bad as it was over towards Detroit. But we have a bit of a crosswind landing as well. Not far off. Okay. Let's level it out again. And probably gonna be able to see it soon. It'll be over here somewhere, I imagine. See, okay, so don't have any indications of the field yet. If I do this, I can't see shit. Okay, this isn't fun. It's kind of my least favorite type of land, like, well, my least favorite type of flying to do. Into a grass strip, because you can normally barely see where you're going. Okay. We are leveled out. According to the sat map, what we should see when we get there, we've got 11 nautical miles to go. Fuck. Yeah, what the sat map has told me is there's like a little cul-de-sac houses. I'm pretty sure this is it here. It's just not showing on the map very well. I hate being within 10 nautical miles of an airport, because at that point you should be able to see it, and if you can't see it, then it's hard to guide yourself in. So I think the best way to do this one is going to be fly in, there's a lake, so fly over the lake, like go do a sort of loop like that round and come into land. see anything. Not really. It's gotta be one of these lakes up ahead. Gotta be. It's really gotta be. Thrall Lake, is that it? It's Austin Lake, not Thrall Lake. That is close. What I don't want to do is land at the wrong runway because it will mess up FSEconomy for me. Let's skip this song. Five nautical miles out, I should be able to see it by now. So that's apparently a grass strip there. What I should see, I think that's it there. That's got to be it. It is it. Let's chuck off the autopilot. Do this manually now. Get ourselves down. This isn't going to be a very fun landing for me, so I want to reduce my altitude a lot. I want to get some flaps down, but we're too fast for flaps in a minute. Okay, flaps fully down. Get a bit of engine going again. So it's right there. You might not be able to see it. My camera might be in the way, but it's there. This is one of those situations where less is more, so we want to get nice and low, and then we want to make our turn and get our airspeed nice and low as well. So, if anything, I want to be stalling when I'm at a couple of feet off the ground. We don't want to drop like massively. We've got to be careful about how we do it, but okay, so now I've got it in sight. Just need to reduce the gas a little bit. And keep coming down. We don't want to lose too much altitude here because there's a row of trees as we're landing. We want to, of course, skim over the top of them if we can. A little bit glidey, a little bit of turbulence. Okay, now I can pull the throttle off. Throttle on a little bit, pick up some airspeed. Okay, and I want to pull up and just scrub some speed off. I'd say that was roughly about 100 meters per second down. I don't have the sim stuff going. I probably should get that set up again. But that wasn't a bad landing. I've had worse. I mean, I've had a lot worse. Let's go ahead and get this thing shut off, because this isn't really like one of those strips that matters too much. Let's start turning the electronics off. But okay. That'll be me done for the evening, guys. I'm going to grab something to eat, and I'm probably going to play on some 5M with some of my buddies on that. So you won't see me on that. Well, you won't see me playing that tonight because I can't stream that whilst I play it, but hopefully you'll catch me tomorrow with some Farming Simulator. We'll probably try and pick up where we left off last time I played it. If not, we'll try out a new map. Depends on if Oxygen David releases Whitcomb Farm Park in the near future or not. I will keep an eye out for that. And when he releases that, we will start a new farm on that map. But yeah, you'll catch me with that tomorrow. And if you don't, I'll see you when I see you. Have a lovely evening. Goodbye.